Greetings, everyone. Hello. Welcome back. Hi, Brinty. Hello, Dragon Slayer. Hello, May. Hello to me. Small, cute, gray escort. Abrasively general. Fiend maker. Making fiends. GP. How's everyone doing tonight? How are you guys doing? Quick favor, what's up? What's wrong? Hello, Save File. Gigandify the Wicked, I see. How are you doing, Save? I hope you had a pleasant stream tonight. Ah, I see. Trying to send with no message. Boop. Blipped out of existence. Deleted. Destructed. And back. Back into the limelight. Back into the living world. To experience it all again. No problem. The silence was wonderful. The silence can be deafening. Hello, Tainted. How are you? Was better than an adequate day. Hope I'm well. I'm doing okay. I'm hoping tonight will be better than an adequate night, I suppose. That would be nice. But we'll see. This month has been a little rough. Hello, Gameo. Thanks for the 45 months. Hope you're having a pleasant weekend so far, friendo. Battlefield 6 is getting closer, Gameo. We'll have something we can do. Doing well, making a list of your top 50 games with the boys. Ah, you're chilling with the boys. Nice. Tell them I said hi. Got a ton of gold farmed up in Classic and Prep for 6. October 10th is when Battlefield 6 releases. And as far as I can tell, they aren't having like a buy the game, play early thing. I mean, technically, I think if you bought the game, you got to play the open beta without getting a key, but getting a key was like super easy, so. Sitting on 4K, Nax comes out October 2nd. What awkward timing. Doing well, making a list of your top 50. Oh wait, I already read that. A hunter must hunt. You know, my favorite Pokemon is between Magikarp and Haunter. Magikarp and Haunter are my favorite Pokemon. The boys say hi. How kind of them. Also, Tim, how are you doing? How are you doing, Tim? I hope you're doing well, swell, delightful. I almost wanted to say it's never mind. Hello, GP. What you been up to? You still essaying about GB? Look at you guys. Bob and weave, Bobby. Bob and weave. Go chatting rangers. Next is surely going to be a time for Game, I'm sure. At least you're not leading a guild, right? Kept a day off yesterday and back to the grind today. I'm glad you got some time to yourself, GP. Psyduck enjoyer, nothing wrong with that. Gen 1 best gen. Ideal creature is a ghost fish splashing around. Good to know. As a vampire, you have to wonder if I've ever made my fair share of ghosts. But how are you? What are you up to, Save? I imagine Kamo is chilling out on retail, maybe, or grinding in Classic. I myself found a new game I can play this weekend that recently came out. It's charming. It kind of, it gives me the, it doesn't, but it does. It feels kind of Slay the Spire-ish to me, but in a whole different way. Aw, cute. What is a small cat doing? What you doing, small cat? What you doing? Sigh. What is everyone up to? Trying to catch up on Genshin main story. Getting there. Still probably 5 hours to go. I mean, in the long scheme of things, that's not very long, right? Like, you'll get there. It's not like the story's coming out faster than you can technically catch up. If you are dedicated to it, you'll eventually get it all done. Relaxing before bed. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody likes a nice little relaxation. Tim's about to sleep. No, you, Tim. Rest well, Tim. Take care, Tim. Tim. Tim Tams. Tim. Timmy Tim. Timmy. Side quests are... So I think it's entirely too late for me to try and get into Genshin. At this point, trying to get into Genshin sounds like too much effort. Not that I particularly care about or want to play a gacha in the first place, but neither here nor there. As long as you enjoy it, that's what matters. That's what matters. Did you ever finish the main story? Speaking of finishing the main story save, did you ever finish the main story in Dune Awakening? I still haven't. I did the whatchamacallit, the DLC one last weekend, but I never ended up going and doing the main one. Thinking about doing that this weekend, just don't know if I want to do it later or tomorrow. No, you, Sean. Hello, Lightning. Welcome back from Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Right, Lost Harvest done, but you haven't touched Chapter 2. Want to finish Genshin main story and this event? It's an 8-day time limit first. Ah, I see. FOMO. FOMO. See, that's another reason why I won't touch something like Genshin or Gachas. There is a lot of FOMO in those games. Too much. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. Hello, latent cuteness. Welcome on in. What's up? How you doing? What you been doing? How you been doing? What you been doing? Tell me what you do. Tell me what you need to do. You didn't gamba, but you have a look around the slot machines. Yeah, I don't really gamba either. I've gambled at a casino once, and that was only with like $5. I was like, you know what? I'll try it. I'll put $5 in. Well, $5 worth. I ended up coming out with $20, so I mean it was a win, but it didn't necessarily encourage me to want to come back and do it. Like, I'd have to go out of my way to go to a casino. You know what? I probably would occasionally mess around at a casino if it was like in walking distance. If I could walk around to the casino, put $5 in every week, see if I hit something, you know, I'd probably do it just for the heck of it. But nah. Sorry to hear you're sick again, Shark. I hope you'll be feeling better soon. Similar to you, you put in $20, came out with 0, and decided to never do such again. I don't mind to gamble, but at the same time, you don't like to gamble. Yeah, I feel like that is a decent sentiment. I don't mind gambling, but it's not like something I feel the urge or want to do. Ah, hello, Kitane. Enjoy your lurk, Dorothy. Feel better knowing me is streaming. Oh. Oh. How's Frosted holding up, Cutane? Sometimes I lurk in Frosted's chat, but I never really speak up because I don't want to deal with the back and forth, no youing and you're adorable or whatever. And see, that's another reason why I usually lurk in a lot of chats too. I don't want to deal with people calling me things. I'm not there in other people's streams to make myself the attention. I'm there to be part of or in someone else's stream. Except for in save files. I mean, it's unavoidable in save files chat. Or its stream. Save file chooses to make me a point of interaction and attention. So I just roll with it. Yeah. Doing their best. That's all we can do. No UGP. Legit stream of Seahorse calling no you for good straight 5 hours, yeah. Hello, Zozo Kitty Lena. What's up? How you doing? Casino had good crab cakes. Yeah, I mean, some casinos have some really good food. Can confirm that casinos do have some good foods. Fear of the mighty Ra. Do you fear the power of the way of peace? Casino buffets are usually really good, yeah. They got actual chefs up in there, you know? I mean, they can make a pretty penny off of their, like... they can make a pretty penny off their buffets too. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who, take it to the extreme at times, but they're a casino. They they make plenty of money off their floor. So whatever hits their restaurant may be taking, it's probably fine, right? I don't know. To be fair, I probably don't really know all the economics. I mean, I don't know all the economics behind casino management for sure, but I have some general ideas based off of theories and other experiences. Oh yeah, no, for sure, right? That is what they like to call a loss leader, right? Like, they take the chance on, having a really good food area because people need food to keep going, right? Why have you leave to go get food when they could give you some really good food and you're like, I'm all filled up, ready to get back out there. That's good. You don't interrupt a good session, you keep people going, right? So even if you're to lose some money off of food every once in a while from, the right people choosing to make good use of the buffet, loss leader, right? No, you sort of, kitty. How are you doing, sort of? I think almost all casinos let people come in just for the buffet. Yeah, no, people can go into a casino just to eat from the buffet. There's no, well, I won't say there's no requirement. There's probably casinos in certain places that do have some sort of requirement that you're like either, a member or, something. But you usually always have to walk through the casino to get to the buffet, right? There's typically, I mean, I'm not saying it's the case for all casinos, but typically it's the case that you usually have to walk through the casino to get to the buffet. And that's intentional, right? Usually not like a separate entrance specifically for casino, or the buffet. Doing okay, just woke up from a small nap with cuddles and VR. Thanks for the hydrate fragment. I need to get back to doing VR at some point. I just have not had the time or energy or disposition or whatever you want to call it. There are multiple stacking factors that have kept me from doing VR. But, alas. Kanada. Ippy Baba. What's up, Kanada? Maz Kanada, dancing Kanada, sleepy Kanada, dancing vibing Kanada, chill, then chill. An EMP going off. Tired from dancing, Kanada dancing all night. Doing alright yourself, Chillo. What you been up to? We were just talking about casinos in Gamba. Which made me think of something else, which now I have completely forgotten. My night's going okay. I've spent a fair amount of it just laying around. Because I had to stay up this past morning. Because my schedule is weird, right? Vampire. I'm usually sleeping during the day, but I actually had to stay up to go take care of a few things, right? Like my bank is only open during typical business hours, right? And then I had to drop something off at UPS, which is also only open at typical business hours. Speaking of which, I know some of you guys are probably remembered I was talking about trying to set up my new computer last weekend. Well, guess what? I had to send it back. We shall see. They have to try and fix something again. So I am currently on the computer I have had. So yeah, I unfortunately am not on a new computer. That is something I meant to talk about. I just skip over brain. But we'll see. Hopefully we get it back and it's working before October rolls around. That's my hope. That's my cope. That's my dream. Did some rearranging, so current Imperial Agents project is ready for working on. when you're in the mind for it. Mind your step, Dragon Player. Playing Alabaster Dawn, new game from the devs of Crosscode. Sounds like you're having a nice time. And better news, you have a new ISP lined up for the next Wednesday install. It's also Fiverr. Ooh. Well, it's about damn time. But you're waiting, huh? Very cool. I hope it works out great, Dragon Slayer. Huh. It said Kanashi went live, but Kanashi went live earlier. Oh, their stream must have had a weird thing. Distraction. Fingers crossed, yes. For me and you both. Fingers crossed on your new network working better for you, and my computer coming back working perfectly. The demo was quite fun, though you couldn't get the timing of the parry. You're excited for the release. You know what I'm excited for the release? You know what I'm excited for the release of? Battlefield 6. Battlefield 6, I'm actually looking forward to playing Battlefield 6. When they first announced Battlefield 6, I was very tentative about it. Some of you may remember that I was saying I wasn't gonna get my hopes up and stuff. And that we'll see because of how Battlefield 2042 turned out. But I can say after some extra time seeing the new stuff, experiencing the beta and playing, and just generally what I've been doing around lately, Battlefield 6, it feels like it's gonna be a nice time. Hello, Blood Angel fan. What's up? How are you doing? I'm alright. Hello, Shears Cute and Fallen. Thank you for the 18 months. 3 months in advance. Very cool. Very cool. We all are. But yeah, glad they're taking a step back from the movement stuff. I am too. I've seen a lot of... I don't know how it comes across my Twitter, but it comes across my Twitter often enough. I just see a lot of people complaining about the movement speed nerfs, and I'm like, Battlefield's a battlefield simulator. Like, I mean, of course it's not like a simulation oriented as something like Arma is, right? But I want to feel ingrained and immersed in a battlefield, right? That's Battlefield's feeling ever since, the early iterations, to be immersed in the Battlefield feeling, while, still having a relatively fast-paced good time. Even with movement nerfs, the game doesn't feel that bad to play, right? Like, or rather, doesn't seem like it's that bad to play, right? Because if you look at the videos that new people are coming out with, like Jack Frags and stuff, it looks fine. I'm sure plenty of you know about Jack Frags, all the way back to Battlefield 3 and stuff, right? I mean, there's plenty of YouTubers out there who started with Battlefield 3. I don't need to see people jumping around doing 360s. I don't need to see people launching off of benches and stuff, doing weird jumps and ducking and diving. And in a gunfight, nobody does that. Nobody does that in a gunfight. If you're jumping, you should be the one who gets killed. It's always been that's one of the things I've hated about like Call of Duty and a lot of these other more movement focused FPS games. Honestly, growing up, a lot of my least favorite movement focused FPS games were the ones where people who were jumping and squatting constantly were the ones who were doing the super awesome montages and crazy stuff, right? Like, if you're jumping, you should be at a disadvantage. Nobody can jump and take clean shots. The person who's got a squared up aim on you, who's standing still, should have a better chance of killing the person who's just jumping around all in between people. I don't hate you for playing Apex. It's just not my favorite style. Like, I don't mind it. I know it's a thing. Honestly, I don't mind it these days, right? Like, I didn't like it as much. I don't like it as much. But I don't mind it if that's the atmosphere it's going for, right? Like, Apex, it makes sense. Apex is just a, crazy out there battle royale, right? People can make jump pads, go invisible, teleport, doing all this crazy techno stuff. So jumping is the least of my worries there. If you're gonna jump and make shots in a game like that, I don't care. It's cool, fine. But not in my Battlefield. Battlefield games is made for you to be in the Battlefield. COD streamers want to add stuff that causes them to leave COD. See, that's the thing, right? Like, a lot of the new people to the Battlefield 6 interest and the hype right now are from Call of Duty, which Call of Duty and Battlefield have always been different games. They've always shared the same sphere of influence. They've always shared the same time periods and, growth in terms of like being in that FPS battle genre of, soldiers and stuff. But they've always played and gone in very different directions. Always played and gone in two different directions. So the whole thing behind Battlefield 6 is Battlefield 6 says they're going back to their roots, right? They are trying to appeal to the Battlefield 3 and 4 crowd, right? They're trying to go back to that era, but also improve on it, make it, add things to it and change things up, right? So it makes sense that they might garner interest from other people for those improvements per se, but at the end of the day, I think the thing that is currently selling Battlefield 6 is that it feels more like Battlefield 3 and 4. So it doesn't need to be and go out of its way to be more like COD for COD people. If it's good, COD people will still play it. I mean, they might not like the movement that's going on with it or nerfs and stuff, but who cares? Go back to playing COD. Sorry that COD's not been going downhill too, but Battlefield is also going downhill, right? Like, COD enjoyers have enjoyed COD for a longer period of time than Battlefield enjoyers have enjoyed Battlefield, because Battlefield started going downhill earlier than COD did. So it's this weird dynamic right now where Battlefield 6 is starting to bring Battlefield uphill again, where COD is still on a downward trend, right? So, but COD enjoyers are used to always enjoying themselves, right? So it's like they need something, they want something. Hydration achieved. Also, thank you for the hydrate posture check, and your random word Digitalist is customary. It's very customary of Digitalist to come in with those 3 redeems off the bat. But yeah, it's funny to hear them want the same old thing that caused them to leave. You want the movement shooter, then you'll play Titanfall 2. See, that's what they need, right? Like, I don't care about movement shooters in terms of Titanfall 2. That kind of combat looked neat, right? Like, that's fine. It's just a different game from Battlefield. It's not Battlefield. That movement does not define Battlefield. Funny to hear them want the same old thing because that caused them to leave. Full gear and a rifle, you feel like it's disabled whenever you try to use the stairs, let alone jumping. Yeah, dude, you know how heavy a kit is? I mean, Shark's right. You're not running marathons and doing all these jumping slides and stuff like that with a regular soldier kit, right? Like maybe in Call of Duty with like if you're special forces, right? You know, and you're packing lighter, better things, have your exosuit or whatever. Sure. Maybe, yeah. But whatever. But in Battlefield, you're just supposed to be another soldier, right? That's another reason why Battlefield 2042 was so jarring, right? Battlefield 2042 made you that special person. Every class was tied to individuals, and those individuals seemed like they were like, you know, special and had extra abilities and stuff like that, right? But no, Battlefield 6, we're returning to just being a soldier, and carrying kit is actually pretty heavy. You're gonna be pretty tired if you're carrying a sledgehammer around on your back, or destructible cover as a support in an LMG. And you can, and it's something that can block bullets, so it's got to have some decent weight, right? I mean, of course, Battlefield 6 isn't going to be realistic, right? Like, of course, there is no realism to the stuff that the soldiers in Battlefield 6 are carrying around. But still, you carry a lot of weight as a soldier. Insurgency Sandstorm. I've had a few people who liked playing that. Back to your beloved Battlefield 3. Yes, yes. Your first Battlefield game is Battlefield 1, aka a horror beautiful game. It's made for you. COD was always more of a run and gun game, while Battlefield was more of a numbers game. Yeah. Just being one of many casualties, right? Like, that's always one of the biggest difference to me for COD and Battlefield was always that in COD, it's often, you know, kills and deaths. You go for that big KDA. My brain broke for a moment. You go for that big KDA and you get the fancy kill strikes and stuff like that, right? You get to call in silly little things that affect the game. And now that's cool and all, but that's not what Battlefield is. Battlefield is just about being a soldier, right? You're just one of the tickets. You're helping control. Your presence on the battlefield. Your presence on the battlefield matters more than your personal attributions. You can score 100 kills in Battlefield games, and your team could still lose, right? In the COD, you know, the team deathmatch and stuff. If you can score enough kills yourself, you might just carry your whole team. But one person scoring 100 kills in Battlefield doesn't necessarily mean everything. It might affect the ticket range, but if you're not capturing objectives, if you're off doing that by means of going between the objectives and not actually sticking to one or helping the team push in certain aspects, your team could be losing just as many tickets, right? It's much more squad-based. That's another thing, right? Battlefield is more squad-based. And in a shooter like Call of Duty, you're not expected to be squad-based, right? Like, having a squad in something like a Call of Duty doesn't make as much sense, right? Because you're just so busy running around and you're constantly killing or dying, right? That's the whole thing in COD. You're constantly killing and dying. In Battlefield 6, it kind of expects you to roam as a squad. You know, if you're in a squad, you're more effective. You can provide each other with different things. And that's something you don't need in COD. There is nothing you need from other players in COD, right? It's a solo game, more or less. But with, you know, teams, each solo individual being part of the team rather than being in a squad, that makes a difference to the team. Let me catch up on chat here though. Gave up on COD after seeing the Black Ops 6 trailer. Customary, indeed. People want the same old thing, but they also want constant innovation. Can never make everyone happy at once. Very true, very true. Closest between the two games would be Delta Force. Yeah, I did like Delta Force. I played a decent amount of Delta Force. I did get like one of the special titles for one of the seasons because I felt like trying to do so, but then I kind of quit because I wasn't getting enough time playing with friends. I probably would have played more Delta Force if I was playing Delta Force with friends, right? Like, if I had, you know, say Burnty had a PC and was playing Delta Force at the time, I probably would have played it a bit more here and there, right? And would probably still be playing it here and there. And then other friends kind of play it inconsistently or at hours where I can't really join them or whatever. So I just kind of felt like I wasn't really getting anything out of it. Battlefield 6, however, I think I'm going to have plenty of people playing where I can play with them and stuff. So that hopefully shouldn't be a problem. Lightning gave up on COD a few years ago because they see when they are starting to add not related game. Yeah. Honorable mention to Battlefield 2042 Portal Milsim. Battlefield 2042's Portal seemed like a decent thing, but also from what I hear, the Portal didn't do everything that they promised it was initially going to do. It is cool, it is good, it's nice that it's there, but at the end of the day, it sounded like it needed to do more. Point of game shouldn't be to make everyone happy, that's the point of having variety. Yeah, that is fair. The front back armor plate, you'll have breathing problems when you wear it for a long time, and it's just the armor plates without the other gear. Yeah. COD, you're him. Battlefield, you're the fodder. yeah, I guess that's a decent way. It's one way to say it, yeah. Single person can't realistically achieve goals in Battlefield. Yeah, I mean, to some extent you can, but it's very limited, right? You'll eventually fall. And you're just stalling at that point. To let the shareholder see, that's the thing is like I mean, Chillo is right, but so is Digitalis, right? The shareholders want the game to appeal to as many people as possible. So that's where games have kind of gone downhill. Games have gone downhill because of, you know, companies wanting the game to appeal to as many people as possible. Purely because of financial reasons, right? So that makes the game worse because development time is spent on more things to draw more people into the game, but because it doesn't focus on any one of those things all that necessarily well, it ends up being a wash, right? Tried Hell Let Loose and you enjoyed it a lot. Hell Let Loose isn't bad. All Burnty's fault. It's not Burnty's fault. I don't know what you're talking about, Small Cat. Burnty's just a little guy. Big chill. Down to use Portal though. Thanks for the hydration, Wellness Kev. How are you doing, Wellness Kev? Hydration achieved. Proper game set in the 80s or 90s. Black Ops doesn't do it right. No other game does it at all. There's an RTS. No FPS games necessarily. I mean, technically Arma does. Isn't Arma 2 technically in that period? Or Arma Reforger? What was it called? What was that RTS game called? There's an RTS game where it's a like 80s an 80s Soviet invasion of the US. I can't remember the name. It felt like it had something to do with conflict. Yeah, so like, I mean, I can't remember, but I remember that the story was essentially, I think it was like, you know, essentially like 80s, but the Soviet Union decided to invade Europe, which tied up a lot of the US forces. World in conflict. Talarim knows what I'm talking about. Talarim knew exactly what I was talking about. I don't think it's even on Steam. An older game now. World in Conflict, yeah. But yeah, essentially in World in Conflict, it's like the 80s. The Soviet Union invaded Europe. The US sent a lot of forces to Europe to help fight off the Russians. And the Soviet Union sent like a sneak attack in a bunch of cargo ships and stored all their troops and stuff and invaded the US West Coast. And you're essentially playing forces left in the US who are trying to stop the Russian advance because they're making a lot of progress since they have so much fodder. And most of the US's forces are tied up in Europe. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. I liked it. I never actually played it, but I watched someone play through it. We bought the collector's edition of the game and got a piece of the Berlin Wall with it. Really? Wow. But yeah, honestly, I think that era is actually kind of like one of the cooler areas in terms of like modern conflict. Modern conflict brings a whole bunch of more connotation to it the longer we go on in this current modern era. But modern conflict used to mean like Arma 2 era, World of Conflict era, right? Those games with the BDUs, the battle dress uniform. A lot of people used to really like the battle dress uniform. Played it on LAN, and damn, the nukes were so awesome. Yeah, because it had a multiplayer, right? But in the story, there's technically like one nuke you launched, wasn't it? Because I think it was like, whatchamacallit, like in the story, the Russians were going after American nuclear sites in Colorado or something like that at one point, and instead of giving them the military sites because they couldn't defend, they lured in the Soviets and just used the nuke. They nuked the US to keep the Russians from taking it. Also, hello Talaram, I hope you're doing well. I saw you were playing some Space Marine too. Polly and Battle Dress when. I still have to wait on Ashinera for that. Well, actually, I haven't said anything about that on stream, have I? I haven't talked about that, have I? Give you a C1A1 with iron sights and nothing more. Drab fatigues and C1A1. You're doing well, glad to hear it. A bit over the top, but fun, yeah. I mean, an attack like that would be really hard to pull off in this day and age, but it is an interesting story back then, like in that era. It feels plausible for that era. Hello, Gorb. Space Gorb. Gorgonzola. What are you up to, Gorby? But, yeah. The totality of it comes to, I'm looking forward to Battlefield 6, and I'm hoping for good things with it. Hoping to keep playing it. The thing is, I'm not sure how I'm gonna deal with it when it comes to stream. Because if I'm being honest, I don't mind playing Battlefield 6 on stream when it comes out for a bit. I think it could be cool for, you know, people to experience and talk about it, being a new thing. But I'm always in that weird spot, right? Because I don't usually play multiplayer games on stream very often. Well, rather, multiplayer PvP games, I guess you could say, right? Like, games involving fighting other players are usually my bane on stream because I don't like getting too distracted from interacting with chats. So I guess we'll see how it goes when I first start it up. I'm hoping my new computer is set up by then, because my new computer should be able to run Battlefield 6 and stream with no problem whatsoever. But I will probably be playing more Battlefield 6 off stream than on stream. Given that I'm going to be having every Friday off for the rest of the year starting in October, I will have more chances to say, hey, this is the day where we play. I mean, I could just say, this day we're playing Battlefield, at least for a while, right? Starting off as Battlefield, then maybe move into something else. You gonna be playing Battlefield 6, Garby? Gonna be following us around? I imagine Talorum's gonna be playing Battlefield 6. Shears, no doubt. Digitalis, no doubt. Pikatani Mills. Very likely. Dragon Slayer. Sounds like Dragon Slayer was gonna be playing some Battlefield 6 with their new network, their fiber network. God. I can't believe both Garby and Talorum have that 10k tier badge. I know Talorum has more than a 10k tier badge. Right? Yeah. But Talorum chooses to use a 10k bit badge. Most of the Battlefield 6 gameplay is just assault support engineer class. That is an interesting thing, is Scout, there are going to be people who play Scout. Burnty is definitely going to be playing Battlefield 6 with his 10k bit badge specifically. Burnty has to play Battlefield 6 specifically with the 10k bit badge. But no, yeah, there are going to be people who play Recon, but Recon is going to be less relevant than in any other Battlefield, I feel like. I feel like in Battlefield 6, Recon is probably going to be less relevant. Like, I don't know. Assault feels way more prominent because of how they're changing it and adding the beacon to Assault. And, you know, faster spawn times on Assault. Support is very good with its ammunition upkeep and squad maintenance. Engineer is... Honestly, an engineer doesn't necessarily need to be in a squad unless there's vehicles on the map. Or if you're playing around in vehicles, but if there is vehicles on the map or you're playing around and using vehicles, engineers are very useful. Snipers feel really solid though. So a impactful sniper will make a difference, but that's the biggest problem with snipers in most games, right? Like, the biggest problem with snipers on most games is they have to be really good at picking people off, or they're kind of wasting the team's time, right? That's the biggest problem with snipers in pretty much any game. It doesn't really matter in COD as much, right? Because it's all about getting the kills yourself anyways. But in something like Battlefield, if you're sniping and you typically means you're not on the points, and the points really do matter, right? Whether it's rush or conquest, being on the point can make or break a match. It doesn't matter if you get 20 kills with a sniper if the enemy team is grabbing all 3 conquest points or grabbing the rush point currently. 45 sniper kills at the back of the map. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Let's see, keeping people off the point you aren't helping. Exactly, right? Like, to be an effective sniper, you have to actually be really solid. You have to be a good player to play sniper and be effective to the team. Not saying this to be, you know, like, you can't play sniper. If you want to play sniper, at the end of the day, enjoy yourself. It's a game. The Battlefield 6 doesn't have a ranked mode, right? At least at this moment, right? I know Delta Force has a ranked mode, but the weirdest thing about Delta Force having a ranked mode is if you're queuing ranked, you're playing with the same people who aren't queuing ranked. So that's what's really weird to Delta Force about me, and probably what made me kind of, you know, slow down a little, because I was doing the ranked mode and just playing with groups of people who don't care about their rank and aren't playing ranked is just such a weird thing. Or you're in there with a DMR, yeah. You'll be engineer almost regardless. You like burning people. Yeah, you think yesterday will be the last movie night show night for a while. You got a friend's birthday dinner next week, and there'll be October for the next one. Maybe the case. Maybe the case. He knows Garby. Maybe he'll just replace movie night with being on Battlefield 6. Ranked in Delta Force is laughable because of the mixed lobbies. Yeah, the mixed lobbies is really kind of what threw me off in Delta Force a lot because I liked playing ranked. I thought it was interesting being. See, the thing is in Delta Force also has the battlefield experience in terms of you can get a lot of kills, but getting a lot of kills isn't necessarily going to help your team. There's plenty of areas where you can actually help the team while also getting a decent amount of kills to get the best score that improves your rank, right? Like technically in Delta Force, you can go up in ranks just by sitting around and rezzing your team and healing them constantly, right? Or you can be scouting and, you know, hitting vehicles and blowing up vehicles, and you'll get plenty of score doing that. You can be capturing points and you'll get a decent amount of score. As long as you're not going like too far KDA negative and you're contributing to the match, you do tend to go up in the ranked for Delta Force. But at the end of the day, a lot of kills also does help. Beacon is there when there's a pilot and an engineer who really want to shoot it down. This is true. That is one of the things that Recon is so good at helping a team out, but no one ever does it. Like in Battlefield 2042, I've been playing it because I want to get the Battlefield 6 Battle Pass done, or rather the Battlefield 2042 Battle Pass has Battlefield 6 cosmetics in it. So I've been collecting that. But certain maps, certain battles, it's so crazy how effective having one recon instead of trying to snipe people, marking and painting a aircraft or tank can be, right? If you have a dozen engineers on your team and one recon painting vehicles, those vehicles will no longer exist, right? But no one ever plays the designated spotter. Whenever one pops up, because I usually play, honestly in 2042, I spend most of my time playing engineer because vehicles actually make a huge difference. And I just like peppering those vehicles and destroying them with the recoilless rockets. So like, whenever I see something getting designated, I'm just like, oh my god, someone's actually designating things. Wild. Need more PvE co-op modes. Well, that's the thing. Battlefield 2042 actually had a co-op mode for playing Battlefield modes, right? In Portal, you can set it up as well. So like, you can play against NPCs in Battlefield, and I'm pretty sure Battlefield 6 is gonna have the same thing for that if you really just want to grind away and slaughter massive amounts of NPCs. You just bought 13 WoW tokens so you can craft Dreadnought for your Paladin. Wow. Congratulations, came out. Battlefield 6 Night for the future. Recon is, yeah, Burnty playing Recon. Honestly, I think Burnty would be most effective as Assault, right? Because Burnty is the little gamer. He's in there, he gets things done. So Burnty being able to be spawned on faster and, you know, just getting there and doing things would probably be more effective. #1 medic in a... Honestly, from the Battlefield 6 weekend that we had, I was stuck between liking support or engineer more. Both support and engineer felt really fulfilling to play for me. I liked both. Assault was okay, but I'm not like as into the head-on assaults in this. I like supporting in different fact sets. I rarely touched Recon. But the sniper rifles, I will say the sniper rifles in Battlefield 6 feel really good. You get that headshots, they're going down, they're not getting back up. See, that's what's going to make it weird though. In Battlefield 6, it might actually make a little bit more of a difference. And it also kind of, you know, makes it goes back to you have to have skill to be the most effective sniper. But if you're actually playing a sniper and you're getting those headshots and people can't revive those people you take down with those headshots, you are being more effective than you would be otherwise, right? Headshots in Battlefield 6 will make a talented sniper all the more powerful. It's going to make people who aren't that great at sniper not any better really, if they get the headshot, very cool. That is a bonus to them. But the people who always nail those headshots, they're going to be so powerful for helping the team out comparatively to previous. So maybe I retract my statement about Battlefield 6 Recon not being as... Well, no. My statement was more so that I think there's going to be a lot less... I think a really good sniper is going to make a big difference in Battlefield 6, but there's going to be a lot of people who think they're really good snipers. I think that's where I was going. I think a lot of people think they're going to be that good sniper in Battlefield 6, but an actual good sniper can make a difference in Battlefield 6. You're going to be super sad to find out SMGs are locked to engineers. Technically, yes, if you're playing, because I don't think they confirmed that they're going to make it locked weapons. I think their default statement is that they're going to have both modes. They're going to have unlocked and locked weapon modes. So SMGs wouldn't be locked to engineers if you're playing the unlocked mode. But I'm sure you can get a really good assault rifle that will fill that SMG niche. And the perks you get for using a weapon specifically for your class type do kind of matter. I don't remember exactly what assaults get for using an assault rifle over an SMG. But I will say that engineer using an SMG increases their hipfire accuracy. It's weird that you just get extra hipfire accuracy on engineer for using an engineer weapon. Have a good one, Lighten. LMG on medic in Battlefield felt really so good, just laying down tons of lead. Yeah. Like the LMGs in Battlefield 6 don't do like the most damage out there, but you do have a lot of volume of fire, and you can kill plenty of people from distance with them. Assault has quicker sprint to ADS on the AR. Okay, yeah, no. See, that makes a difference, right? That makes you... Honestly, I think that almost makes you comparable to SMGs. If it's a faster sprint in ADS on assault rifles. Best suppressing fire. And that's another thing. Suppressing fire coming back is really cool to me. I know Battlefield 2042 doesn't have the suppressing fire effect. I'm glad it's a thing in Battlefield 6 though. And it gives you a little more score and stuff. I think what makes Recon pretty strong though is the lack of sway on sniper rifles. Is pretty good too though. But on that note, guys, I need to be right back. Hello Mega, I hope you're doing well. Ad break's about to be here, so I will be back in just a moment. We can keep talking about Battlefield and stuff, but I'm going to be starting up Space Marine to play with Dragon Slayer here for a little bit. Tyler, I don't know if you would like to join us. James is a little busy tonight. Rest well, Kamo. Okay, we'll see you guys in just a moment. Be right back. Bye. Alright, we are back. Gamers. Thanks for the welcome back. Let me go ahead and get this on screen. Always something to be doing. Space Marine. No, you Sheris. Thanks for the hydrate, SVT. I need to hydrate. Enjoy your Apex, Brenty. But yeah, I'm very excited about Battlefield 6. I'm looking forward to it. Hope Mega's doing well. But your MP5, MP7, P90, AK-74 you. Is there no ARs you like as much, Brendy? Is there no ARs you like as much? I heard this is, they changed this to be a stomp instead of the shoulder blast combo, which makes it even better because the stomp is really nice. I'm so tempted to get it, but also I feel like having a nice pistol for things I can't melee would be cool. But I spend a lot more time in melee anyway, so... Let's get the chainsword. Hello, Interstellar, how are you? I'm not the kitty, Chat's the cute one. Hello, Yoshi, what you doing? You ready for Battlefield 6, Yoshi? Are you ready for Battlefield 6, Yoshi? Are you ready to be the Battlefield 6 gamer? Well, Dragon Slayer, if you want to toss me an invite, since, you know, that's how it worked better. Yeah. Guess it doesn't really matter which one of these I buy. I'm gonna have to get them all eventually here. I'm not gonna be able to master them though. Heroic chainsword. And that's standing 19 power. Strength. It's one more than this balance or block weapon. Heroic weapons are really solid, it seems. My day was okay, thanks for asking, Yoshi. Not a great week, sorry to hear. I do hope your week gets better going into the new one. About you, because you're small, you always gravitated towards other things you could see yourself using, and SMGs are Brenty sized. You can use an AR, but you're never ecstatic to do so unless you get access to the 74U or ASFAL. Basically something SMG coded, but in an AR category. I would be surprised if they don't add the ASFAL to Battlefield 6 at some point. Because I mean... always in Battlefield. ASFAL's been in pretty much every Battlefield since Battlefield 3, right? Dragon Slayer, Wolf Boy over here. An SMG in Battlefield 4. Is it? Dinosaur is counted as an assault rifle in Battlefield 3. I might be misremembering things. Right. I don't know what the missions are, Dragon Slayer. Not the siege, but the new ones, the new modes. The one on the right. I can't see the missions and explain them. Stratagems, yes. The stratagems. We may have started it too soon. I'm not sure if Talarmer is gonna join us or not.